Welcome to the Real Retirees of New Jersey, powered by Liberty Financial Group and Artemis Wealth Advisors. Randy and Peggy Fisher want to help you retire once and retire right. Get more information at therealretireesofnewjersey.com. They never throw the first punch, but they're always a knockout.
As we continue getting to know you, Randy, you, Peggy, and the team at Liberty Financial Group and Artemis Wealth Advisors, how do you shut it down? We know you spend all week customizing plans, helping change lives. But, man, what's relaxing for you? What do you enjoy?
You know what I enjoy, Mark?
What's that?
I enjoy my jacuzzi in the backyard on a Saturday morning with a nice cup of coffee, looking at the friggin' wilderness outside. That's what I enjoy. Yes, and then I may enjoy it again, Mark, at about 7, 8 p.m. with a nice glass of wine.
There it is. Start your day with bubbles and end it with bubbles.
Is that good?
I'm not angry.
I don't shut it down, Mark. Honestly, I just have one of these noggins that it doesn't shut off. So I put it on the side, but I'm constantly always thinking about either what needs to be done or who I got to call or what I got to research or whatever it may be. And we have a 100% open relationship with our clients. We get calls all day, all night, all weekend, all weekday. It makes no difference. Yep. So we always tell people, if you have an issue, you got a problem, something keeps you up at night, give us a call.
Yeah, that's right.
I got a call just this week at about 11:30, quarter to 12 in the evening, and I missed the call. I actually was already nodded off. I woke up at 1:15 or so, and I saw the phone call, and I actually texted them back. They were up. So we were going back and forth on a text messaging thing at 1-something in the morning. And they were like, all right, I just wanted to make sure everything was okay and, yada, yada, yada. So there's not a time in the day that we're not thinking of our clients.
That's sure.
And listen, everybody has personal time and you're down and out. If I'm at a wedding or a funeral or something like that, obviously I'm not really going to take a call, but I'll get back to people as quickly as I can. But we have people that I'll give you an example. Peggy does a lot with auto and homeowners insurance. People are closing on a house or, trying to buy a car.
Right.
It's a Saturday afternoon at 3:00 and they're at a dealership and next thing you know, her phone is ringing. They're like, hey, do you think you can get me an ID card or something? So it's a nonstop solution. And everybody thinks, well, Artemis Wealth Advisors or Liberty Financial Group, we don't do those things. Anything that affects your pocketbook and checkbook, we want to be involved in your life.
That's right.
This week, I probably had 4 people asking me about the interest rate environment that's out there these days. Should they actually be looking at either a fixed rate or should they be looking at a variable rate mortgage? Should they potentially refinance? A couple of people that have kids in college with regards to their student loans.
Right.
I mean, the list goes on and on and on. It's literally anything that actually fits the financial billfold. We have another person that actually was referred to us from her girlfriend that she's getting a divorce.
Yes.
And wanted us to do an analysis of the recommendations of the negotiation through the attorneys.
Which, thank God, we talked to her.
Yeah.
Because I'll tell you right now,
screwed.
She was getting screwed royally.
Yeah,
oh, yes.
Royally. So, and again, after our analysis, we went back. She actually went back to the attorneys, and next thing you know, they're like, "Oh yeah, you know what? I think you should get another $250,000."
Yes, but we also can play psychologists with that as well, because I did I gave my little advice to the woman. She's like, "I just kind of want to get this over. I think I should just do it." I'm like, "Okay, then 10 years from now, when you have no money, you could have had money.
Not getting it over gave her another $250,000.
Exactly, and then she called us and said, "Thank God I talked to you guys." That's right.
Do you find that hard? Do you find that you have to play therapist and you got to kind of draw the line between being a psychologist and being a financial advisor?
I don't find it hard at all.
No, it's just part of the game.
It is. It's part, not even, it's just, I feel like, with that woman in general who came into our office, I'm like, do not be, and I've seen it before with friends that I've had who had divorces and had that same thought of, I just want to get this over with, right? Yeah. Listen, getting it over with right now for this second, the way that you feel, when in 5 years from now, when you go, oh my God, now I don't have anything from the retirement. I could have had that from him, blah, blah, or her, or vice versa.
Yeah.
I say, don't make that mistake. Just take a couple deep breaths. Let's go through this. And like I said, for that one client who did come in, thank God. I mean, we got her an extra $250.
That's fantastic.
Mark, we always say, no matter what we're looking at, we're going to do it through a mathematical, methodical, non-emotional approach.
That's correct.
So whatever makes the most common sense from a rational financial scenario,
that's right.
We're going to present it. Sometimes it's not what somebody wants to hear.
And that's what I said to that one client in particular. You might not want to hear this, but I'm just speaking from the cuff here that this is what I think is right for you, right? Without me being the person who's going to be emotional. I know she's emotional. It's her divorce, right?
She didn't think she was getting taken advantage of because she thought that she was getting it out of the way as quickly as she possibly could.
Right.
But
and by doing that, that's their opportunity to take advantage of her. They were
taking advantage of her so bad. It was incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, incredible. It really
Absolutely.
was.
And I love the fact as we continue to get to know you, Randy, you, Peggy, and the team, which I say is both of y'all, the team from Liberty Financial Group and Artemis Wealth Advisors. And you can get to know them as well when you visit therealretireesofnewjersey.com. Begin these conversations. The fact that you'll text us back at 1 a.m. The fact that I can call you and be like, hey, man, Randy, is this a bad time? It's just knee surgery, but I'll be all right. Yeah, what's on your mind?
It's just a flesh wound.
It's just a flesh wound. Listen, man, I got another kidney. What's on your mind? What can I help you with?
Actually, you know what's so funny about that, Mark? He actually did have a motorcycle accident. And as he's in the hospital bed, can't breathe, basically had, 8 ribs broken. Was literally doing business. Me and him were doing business by the bedside. We were.
Yeah. I was
true.
still calling people back.
Listen,
I was calling the people back, yes.
It's because I was a little drugged up.
Yeah, we didn't want him talking. He was so drugged up at that time. Correct. That's right.
The doctor's going to move the rib over here. I think you should move this investment over here.
Yes, exactly.
It was like playing Operation.
But he is dead serious when he says, he had 8 broken ribs, but we were still doing business on the bedside there. That's true.
But it is refreshing. It's refreshing to hear that two people in this industry aren't afraid to take the phone calls on the weekend, aren't afraid to go out of the way and be your friend, your therapist, and also your financial advisor. So let me ask you, what got you into the industry?
So, Mark, I started in the industry as a young buckaroo. I always say that I come from a family of insurance. So going back, my mother was a top insurance agent for Prudential Insurance Company. My uncle was a top manager at the Prudential Insurance Company. My cousins and my brother are all financial planners. And Randy, my husband, also too. And I started out on the claim side, which is the other opposite side of it. So in life insurance claims. So if God forbid, your loved one passed away, I would take care of that aspect of it. I did that going all the way back, or going college, high school. And then I was fortunate enough to stay home with my children for a while. And then Randy had called me one day. This was after we had our 2 children. And said, hey, Peg, I think this is a great idea. Why don't you get your insurance license and we'll work together as a husband and wife team. And I paused for a moment and told Randy, we may have to put this off for another 8 years. And he said, what are you saying to me? I said, you better pull the car over. And that's when I told him we were having our 3rd baby, which was the biggest surprise for both of us. But then afterwards, my big baby is now, a big baby still. But I then went in and got my insurance license, which, as I said, it's definitely all in the family. So I've been around this since basically, I could walk.
Besides hurting my arm in the little minor leagues, and that didn't last too long.
Yeah.
But I thought I was going to be a marine biologist and play around with flipper and sharks. And when I figured out that, either playing baseball in the minors or being a marine biologist, I was going to eat a lot of cheeseburgers and fries. That wasn't going to do it for me. So, I changed majors to accounting and finance and had dual degrees in that and have lots of other degrees on top of that. Once I started to learn that I can actually help people with the financial field, that actually got me really interested in it a long time ago.
Yeah.
So almost a little bit, I guess it's going on almost 3 decades now, being in that industry and teaching advisors and continuing all the education in this industry that you could possibly imagine.
Yeah.
I love the whole thing of not only just building wealth, but also creating plans for people. And then that plan then affects somebody and impacts their lives.
Yeah.
Right.
From people picking up the pieces from a survivor, scenario, God forbid, when their spouse passes away or their family needs that money, putting together a plan and seeing their faces when they know that they can actually retire or go on these vacations or do what they want to do and plan. People who retired and opened up new businesses. Or some of the more grateful people are they want to just spend time with their family. They want to spend time with their grandchildren. We had recently a couple that basically said that they wanted to somehow retire to help their kids And helping their kids wasn't basically giving them money out of their pocket, but it was basically watching their grandchildren while their kids were still going to work. So instead of them actually paying for childcare, they were able to retire, and now they're spending this, great period of time with their grandchildren while their kids are going to work, and they're helping them financially that way.
Right.
Yeah.
Which I felt grateful for doing that.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
that's so common these days, too. You mentioned it a couple of seconds ago about people just need income. What are the best strategies for building wealth, building income in retirement?
Robbing banks. Now, no Bonnie and Clydes in our industry here, but building wealth is one thing. You look at the financial spectrum and you look at it from a pyramid standpoint. You have 4 different points. The first part is basically growth and wealth building.
Right.
The second part of that is when you do transition to a retirement scenario, it's truly transitioning. Because if you continue to do what you've gotten or you've done through your growth scenario, you're going to go through some unbelievable periods of volatility, and your income is not going to be very stable if you try to do it that way. So that's why you have to use the right tools for the trade when you transition to income.
Right.
And then while you're in retirement, you have to enjoy all those periods of time. And as we say, the most is income. The income is the outcome that matters most in retirement. And you're doing all those little things. And eventually that last point or that triangle is basically legacy, and how to basically take what you've gotten, take what you've built, whatever is going to be left over, and give to your loved ones or be philanthropic. Give to churches or organizations in which you really feel passionate about when you pass away. And that's the 3 points of that triangle, and how we try to help people throughout the entire retirement planning process of what did you grow? What do you have?
Right.
What do we need for income, and how long is it going to last? And then God forbid, when it's all over, who's going to get it and where is it going to go based off of what you want to happen.
And then we can talk about different things with clients as well about dividing money among different kinds of investments. Something that you'll need for now, something that you may need soon, and something that you may need later, right?
Think of it as buckets.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
You have a now
Yep.
bucket. You have a little bit of a transition bucket over a 3, 4, 5, 6 year period of time for cost of living adjustments and such.
Yep. Parked
And then
money
you have a
and
rainy day
savings.
bucket,
That's right.
So that's
Yep.
just discretionary play checks, or, think of it as liquid, paycheck, and play check.
Yep.
Think of it that way.
So what about the interest rates right now? Is that going to affect annuities, which a lot of people use as guaranteed income? How is it affecting the families you serve?
It's a big deal, I think, from a financial standpoint at the moment. Thankfully, we're not in a recession.
Right.
It depends on who you talk to, but we're definitely not in a recession. So I think this is basically still bullish. It's a still bullish move. I hopefully over the next 6 to 12 months, we're going to see still an increase in the S&P 500 or the NASDAQ and, the Magnificent Seven and all those good things.
Yep.
But we do see many, many people have been walking through our door. Their portfolios are so concentrated in a certain handful of different positions that thankfully when the market goes up, they're going with it. But unfortunately, when the market goes down,
right.
man, are they having a hard time with it.
Right.
And you mentioned income. We've been able to really show people and educate them on dividing up and segregating their assets into different types of buckets.
Right.
Bucket for income, a bucket for growth. You can't actually create income. Well, you can try. You can try to create income from a portfolio of investments, but unfortunately, you're going to have a pretty rocky scenario. A lot of people who have actually had success with that, they've only done it through bull markets. So when the market's going up, it really doesn't matter what's happening when you're pulling money out of the market. But when the market's going down or it's fluctuating through some big volatile periods, you have something called reverse dollar cost averaging. Soon as your portfolio and your units start to get diminished, no matter how big of a return they get thereafter, you're not going to be able to recuperate your money. So it really exacerbates the scenario of trying to create that retirement income off of a portfolio. We do not say take all your money out of the market.
Right.
We also say don't put all your money in a coffee can.
Right.
Right. So you have to have a proper mix of every asset that's basically across the board, which we then go through something called correlation. Right. So what is that asset correlated with? So when stocks go up, do bonds go down, or is there some type of stability, or are they not related at all? What we want is more or less a non-relationship between those assets, because when one is going up, we certainly don't want the other one to be making sure that it's going up at the same time or necessarily going down.
Or we always have for our clients, there's always a safe, right?
Correct.
Safe money. You got to put money in safe places that we can, help our clients with, where they're not worrying regardless of the market going
Absolutely.
up or down. Their money is in a safe spot where they know that they can count on that money being there regardless of what's happening.
And safety is savings and liquidity.
Right.
Right. So you have things like money market and treasury bills.
Right.
You have other stuff, other tools such as fixed or fixed indexed annuities.
That's right.
We use bank notes. Those have become extremely popular lately with a lot of our clientele and a lot of clientele that's out there that really don't know a lot about it. But what it is, it's a very short-term tool which gives you stability and protection as well as offering you tremendous interest potential.
And a lot of people didn't think when they come into our office, Randy, that they could get these notes, right?
No.
Because at first they were for,
They were for accredited investors
That's
for the
right.
most part.
Yep.
We have a lot of different avenues in which we can actually access that. We do business through many, many different, almost an unlimited amount of insurance companies.
Right.
But predominantly our two custodians for our wealth management scenarios are Fidelity and Schwab.
That's right.
So most of our clients who are with Fidelity and Schwab have come from Fidelity and Schwab, and they're just looking for better advice through our firm. Or we have other clients that actually come over from, for instance, 401k rollovers and such. Because once we start to educate them and they understand that they're going to have a really hard time creating an income stream from their 401k plan or from a basket of mutual funds, it's a lot easier for them to actually transition their accounts over to a great custodian like a Fidelity or a Schwab, in which we deal with every single solitary day.
Yeah.
And then we use the tools that are available to us, and we create this portfolio that, number one, they can't outlive. Number two, it's unique to their scenario. And number three, it fulfills all of their dreams and aspirations and what they're trying to accomplish.
You're talking about building streams of income in retirement. Is there too many?
It depends on the client. There may be clients that we may use one stream. There may be somebody who have smaller money and can use one stream.
Right.
They're not worrying about their money. We have other clients that have a lot of money, and we can put it into 3 or 4 different streams. And one's the safe stream, one's, the market. And they're okay with that being in those certain aspects, or others who might not have as much, worry and need to be in a safer vehicle.
Mathematical, methodical, non-emotional.
Right.
So, for instance, if you walk through the door and you say you need X, we're going to go through it as a mathematical formula.
Right.
And we're going to figure out, okay, that's the end, and let's go where we need to be today and how are we going to get there. So if there's a limited amount of assets in which we're going to be able to use, then we're going to have to use the most beneficial, maximized solution to meet that need with the minimal amount of risk in order to make sure that that end result is going to happen no matter what. So what Peggy was getting at is if someone has a limited amount of assets and they have to have an absolute amount of income, we may be able to get there. And I say may be able to because we're not magicians, but we may be able to get there. And I say 8 out of 10 times. We're going to be able to do that with multiple choices, multiple solutions. In certain scenarios, guess what? We've been kind of wedged into a corner for whatever reasons. We have a limited amount of resources, or we have a certain type of quality of money.
Or a time period.
Or a time period.
Time period, right.
And there's a specific solution that's going to meet your need, which will be limited to maybe 1 or 2 choices instead of 3, 4, 5, 6 choices, right? And I'm not trying to be vague about it. It's just that everybody's scenario is a little bit different.
That's right. Each client.
No one's the same. And as fiduciaries, we have to make sure that we're actually offering the best choice available for the client's need, not for the company's need, not for our need, for the client's need. And I want to make sure everybody understands this because this is a big word that's out there. It's floating around forever. Fiduciary. Right? That was in concert right there, almost in stereo.
It was. Well, and that's the first question a client will always ask. Are you a fiduciary?
Yeah. And what we do is we basically say, yes, we are, but there's 2 different types of fiduciaries.
Right.
And they say, well, what are you talking about? I've never heard of that. The SEC basically has a definition of a fiduciary of a publicly traded company. That fiduciary has a responsibility foremost to the shareholder, not the client, but the shareholder. So if I worked for a corporation, a big bank, or a big brokerage company, and I went in a Monday morning meeting and they told me that I sat down at 8 o'clock that we have these mutual fund companies or these exchange traded funds or these annuities, this is what we're pushing out this week because this is where the company makes the most money for our shareholders. That is the fiduciary responsibility of that financial advisor. Now, most people would shake their head and scratch their hair there saying, wait, that doesn't make much sense. How do they know that that's in my best interest?
Yeah.
They don't care if it's in your best interest. It's in the shareholders' best interest through the SEC definition of fiduciary. Now, we're not a publicly traded company.
That's right.
Artemis Wealth Advisors and Liberty Financial Group is a small boutique firm here located in Flemington, New Jersey, and we do business literally nationwide. But our primary responsibility as a private fiduciary
Is to the client.
only.
Right.
And only the client. No matter what it is, their best interest needs to be in mind. How do we keep that in mind? Well, what we do is we actually do some research and we say, okay, instead of picking just one item, we pick 2 to 3 items, and then we go over pro, con
With the client.
And then we figure out
bets their needs, right?
Absolutely.
Yep.
What's the best that fits your need?
Yeah.
We suggest something, but it may not be the cheapest product. It may not be the number one annuity company out there, or it may not be the number one exchange traded company out there, blah, 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 blah. But it's the one that was most optimal for the client's unique situation.
Right.
That's the big difference between a fiduciary responsibility from a private fiduciary versus a publicly traded fiduciary.
And even if you don't work with Liberty Financial Group and Artemis Wealth Advisors, that should be the very first question
Absolutely.
That's
out
right.
of your mouth.
Yep, absolutely.
We are an independent financial services firm helping individuals create retirement strategies using a variety of financial and insurance products to custom suit their needs and objectives. Investment advisor services offered through Artemis Wealth Advisors, a registered investment advisor. Exposure to ideas and financial vehicles discussed should not be considered investment advice or recommendation to buy or sell any financial vehicle. Past performance is not a guarantee of future results. Investments can fluctuate and when redeemed may be worth more or less than when originally invested. Artemis Wealth Advisors is not affiliated with nor endorsed by the Social Security Administration or any other government agency and does not provide legal or tax advice. Please consult with your attorney, accountant, and or tax advisor for advice concerning your particular circumstances. Annuity guarantees rely solely on the financial strength and claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company. By contacting us, you may be provided with information about insurance and annuity products offered through Randolph A. Fisher, insurance license number 9616074, and Liberty Financial Group, LLC, and Peggy Fisher, national license number 189-42003 and 570-5833.